Chapter 1. I discover Moses in the bulrushes. If you read that book about Tom Sawyer, you know about me, Huck Finn. The way that book ends is this. We found the money that the robbers hid in the cave, and it made us rich. We got $6,000 apiece, all gold. It was an awful sight of money when it was piled up. Well, Judge Thatcher took it and put it out at interest for us. It brought us $1 a day apiece all the year round, more than we could tell what to do with. Then the widow Douglas took me for her son, and said she was going to bring me up right. She cried over me and called me a poor lost lamb, and a lot of other names too, but she didn't mean any harm by it. She put me in new clothes, and I couldn't do anything but sweat and feel all cramped up. It was tough, living in a house all the time, and everything so regular. The widow rung a bell for supper, and you had to come to time. When you got to the table, you couldn't go right to eating. You had to wait for the widow to tuck down her head and grumble a little over her plate, though there wasn't anything the matter with the food. After supper, she got out her book and read to me about Moses and the bulrushes. I was in a sweat to find out all about Moses, till by and by she let it out that he had been dead a long time. Then I didn't care any more about him. I don't take any stock in dead people. Her sister, Miss Watson, a slim old maid with glasses on, had just come to live there. Now she took a set at me with a spelling book. She worked me hard for about an hour, and then the widow made her ease up. I couldn't have stood it much longer. Then for an hour it was deadly dull. Miss Watson would say, "Don't you put your feet up there, Huckleberry," and "Don't hump up like that, Huckleberry, straighten up." And pretty soon she would say, "Don't gape and stretch like that, Huckleberry. Why don't you try to behave?" Then she told me about the bad place, and I said I wished I was there. She got mad then, but I didn't mean any harm. All I wanted was to go somewhere. All I wanted was a change. She said it was wicked to say that. She said she wouldn't say it for the whole world. Said she was going to live as to go to the good place. Well, I couldn't see anything to gain by going where she was going. I made up my mind not to try for it, but I didn't say so. I would only make trouble and do no good. She went on and told me all about the good place. Said all a body had to do there was to go around with a harp and sing all day, forever and forever. I didn't think much of it. I asked her if she thought Tom Sawyer would go there. She said not by a long sight. I was glad about that because I wanted to be where he was. Miss Watson kept picking at me, and things got tiresome and lonesome. Later they brought the slaves in and had prayers. Then everybody was off to bed. I went up to my room with a piece of candle. I set the candle on the table, and then I leaned out the window and tried to think of something cheerful. But it was no use. The stars twinkled away off, and the leaves rustled ever so mournful. After a long time, I heard the clock go boom, 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 12 licks, then all still again, stiller than ever. Pretty soon I heard a twig snap down in the dark among the trees. Something was astir. I kept still and listened. Then I could just barely hear a meow, meow down there. That was good. Meow, meow. I said as soft as I could. I put out the candle and scrambled out of the window onto the shed. Then I slipped down to the ground and crawled in among the trees, and sure enough, there was Tom Sawyer waiting for me.